Get this ugly face out of my sight before you scare off my VIP clients. The expensive glass door of the luxury floral boutique slammed shut. A simple woven basket tumbled down the concrete steps. Hand-picked daisies and wild lilies scattered into a muddy puddle on the sidewalk. The boutique owner stood on the porch. He adjusted his silk tie. He sneered at the young woman, kneeling on the wet pavement. He told her she was a stain on the neighborhood. He pointed at the deep, jagged scar that ran down the left side of her face. Clara did not argue. She just gently pulled her collar up a bit to cover her cheek. Her eyes were not filled with fear or anger. Hello, everyone. This world can sometimes be incredibly cruel to those who carry visible scars. But God always has the most miraculous ways of healing wounds, both of the body and the soul. If you believe in love and ultimate redemption, please leave this prayer in the comments below. I believe God will heal all wounds and compensate with priceless blessings. Subscribe to the channel today to receive more stories that warm the heart. Clara quietly knelt on the cold pavement. She did not cry. She did not curse the man who had just ruined her entire day of work. Instead, she carefully reached into the mud. She began picking up the bruised stems, one by one. She sold these wildflowers to buy groceries for the orphanage downtown. Every single penny mattered to her. Despite the terrible burn scar she got from pulling a trapped toddler out of a house fire years ago, she radiated a quiet, undeniable grace. Right across the street, a man in a faded gray sweater was holding his little girl's hand. His name was Arthur. To the rest of the world, he was a genius billionaire and the founder of the most advanced regenerative medicine corporation on the planet. But today, he was just an exhausted, heartbroken, single father. His 6-year-old daughter, Lily, was tightly gripping a worn-out teddy bear. Her eyes were completely vacant. She had not spoken a single word in 2 years. Not since the car accident that took her mother's life. Arthur had spent millions on the best therapists in the world. Nothing worked. Lily was terrified of strangers. She was terrified of sudden noises. She was locked entirely inside her own mind. Arthur stopped walking when he saw the scene unfolding in front of the boutique. The boutique owner suddenly recognized the man in the gray sweater. It was Arthur, the very billionaire his shop was trying to secure a massive floral contract with. For an upcoming charity gala, the owner's face instantly morphed from a nasty scowl into a glowing, artificial smile. He rushed down the steps to clear the path for his wealthy guest. He deliberately kicked another handful of Clara's fallen daisies into the gutter. He loudly apologized to Arthur for the mess on the sidewalk. He called Clara a beggar and a total nuisance. He bragged about the flawless, imported roses inside his shop. He claimed they were the only things worthy of a man of Arthur's status. Arthur did not even look at the boutique owner. His eyes were fixed on his daughter. Lily was shivering. The aggressive shouting had triggered her anxiety. She squeezed her eyes shut and shrank behind her father's leg. But Clara noticed. Clara ignored the boutique owner completely. She did not defend her pride. Her attention shifted entirely to the frightened little girl. Clara wiped the mud off her hands, onto her worn jeans. She picked up 3 bent, bruised daisies that had survived the puddle. With incredibly fast, practiced movements, she braided the stems together. She used a tiny piece of frayed ribbon from her pocket. She made a small, imperfect, but beautiful flower crown. Clara stayed on her knees to be at eye level with the child. She held out the small crown. She did not try to force it on her. She just smiled, a warm, genuine smile. She whispered that sometimes the flowers that get stepped on smell the absolute sweetest. She told the little girl that it takes a lot of courage to keep blooming. When things get a little broken, Arthur held his breath. He prepared to step in, knowing his daughter usually screamed if a stranger got too close. But Lily did not scream. She looked at the flower crown. Then, She looked up at Clara's face. She stared directly at the large, jagged scar. Lily did not see a monster. She saw someone who was broken, just like her, for the first time in 24 months. The little girl loosened her death grip on the teddy bear. She let it drop to the ground. Lily reached out her tiny, trembling hands. She took the flower crown. And then, she smiled. It was a small, fragile smile. But it was real. Arthur felt a tear slide down his own cheek. He was witnessing the very miracle he had prayed for every single night. The moment a fractured soul embraces a broken heart, magic truly happens. Let us write down this prayer together. To send peace to this little girl. I believe God will heal all wounds and compensate with priceless blessings. Leave it in the comments below. The boutique owner stood there, completely oblivious to the profound moment happening right in front of him. He scoffed loudly. He reached out to snatch the flower crown away from Lily. He yelled that those dirty weeds were going to ruin the little girl's expensive coat. He told Clara she had no right touching a billionaire's daughter with her ugly hands. Arthur's demeanor shifted instantly. Arthur did not raise his voice. He did not clench his fists. The exhausted, desperate father vanished in a fraction of a second. He was replaced by the ruthless, sharp-minded chairman of the world's most powerful medical conglomerate. Arthur stepped firmly between the luxury boutique owner and the two girls. He gently pushed the man's aggressive, manicured hand away from his daughter. If you ever raise your voice at my little girl or this brave woman again, I will personally make sure you never sell a single petal in this city, Arthur said. His voice dropped to a terrifyingly quiet, icy whisper that sent shivers down the owner's spine. The boutique owner froze in his tracks, completely caught off guard by the sudden hostility. He nervously stammered, wiping cold sweat from his forehead. He tried to explain that he was just protecting precious little Lily from a dirty, disease-ridden street vendor. He claimed he was doing Arthur a massive favor by keeping the trash off the pristine sidewalk. Arthur did not waste a single second arguing with a fool who only valued surface-level aesthetics. He calmly reached into his tailored coat pocket, pulled out his phone, and dialed his chief procurement officer. He put the phone on maximum speaker volume so the boutique owner could hear every single word clearly. Cancel the exclusive $3 million floral contract for our annual hospital gala immediately, Arthur ordered without a hint of hesitation. The voice on the other end of the line confirmed the sudden instruction respectfully. And while you are at it, issue a corporate memo right now. Blacklist this specific boutique and its owner from all our global hospital networks, corporate events, and partner charities. Arthur's commands were swift, precise, and absolutely devastating. The boutique owner's face drained of all color, turning as pale as a ghost. His jaw dropped in absolute horror. As the crushing reality of the situation crashed down upon him, that massive corporate contract was his only remaining lifeline to save his failing, debt-ridden business from total bankruptcy. Without it, the bank would seize his luxury shop by the end of the week. Mr. Arthur, please, I beg you. You completely misunderstand my intentions, the owner pleaded. His former arrogance instantly dissolved into pathetic, whining desperation. I am just trying to maintain the perfect, flawless image for your prestigious medical event. Arthur looked at the trembling man with utter, unfiltered disgust. A man who actively destroys genuine beauty to sell a fake, chemical-soaked image has absolutely no place in my ecosystem. You look at her and see an ugly, unacceptable scar. I look at her and see a heroic woman who builds beautiful, living things out of the garbage you carelessly throw away. You have exactly 10 seconds to get out of my sight. If you do not, I will buy the very building you lease and have my security team evict you before noon. The boutique owner stumbled backward, his fragile pride shattered, completely humiliated in front of his own storefront. He turned around and fled back into his empty shop, like a beaten dog. He finally realized he had just destroyed his own life and livelihood because of his superficial, hollow cruelty. Arrogance always carries a remarkably steep price. And genuine compassion is always answered in the most unexpected ways. Do you believe in the undeniable power of karma and the strength of a good heart? Let us know by leaving this comment right now. I believe God will heal all wounds and compensate with priceless blessings. With the toxic, loud man finally gone, the rain-soaked street suddenly felt quiet and peaceful again. Arthur turned around and knelt down on the wet pavement, right next to Clara. He did not pull out his wallet to offer her a $100 bill, out of misplaced pity. He knew that would be an incredibly deep insult to her dignity. Instead, he offered her his bare hand. Clara looked at his open palm for a long moment, then gently accepted it, letting him help her stand up from the cold mud. Arthur looked down at the cheap frayed piece of ribbon, holding the magnificent daisy crown on his daughter's head. He saw how tightly Lily was holding on to Clara's muddy hand, absolutely refusing to let go. My top pediatric doctors have been trying to get her to voluntarily interact with another human being for 2 agonizing years, Arthur said. His voice was thick with heavy emotion, warm tears threatening to spill over his eyelashes. You managed to do it in 5 minutes. On a dirty sidewalk, with a handful of broken flowers, Clara gave a soft, incredibly humble smile, brushing a stray lock of dark hair behind her ear. She quietly explained that traumatized children do not care about perfect appearances or expensive toys. They only care about who makes them feel truly safe. When the terrifying storm hits, she told Arthur about the underfunded orphanage she tirelessly supported. She explained how she taught those abandoned children to find immense value in things the world had carelessly discarded. Arthur was deeply, profoundly moved by her incredible resilience and her astonishing emotional intelligence. He made a life-changing decision right there on that muddy sidewalk. He formally asked Clara to come work as a senior psychological therapy consultant at his pediatric trauma recovery center. He promised to completely fund her beloved orphanage from top to bottom. He swore that those vulnerable children would never have to worry about a warm bed or their next meal ever again. And most importantly, he offered her the full, unrestricted resources of his cutting-edge regenerative medicine division. He vowed to use the most advanced biotechnology in the world to heal the painful, restrictive burn scar that she had bravely carried for so long. Clara's eyes welled up with hot tears of disbelief, her pure heart overflowing with overwhelming gratitude. Fast forward exactly 1 year later, the bright morning sun was shining magnificently through the towering stained glass windows of a breathtaking stone cathedral. It was not another corporate charity gala today. It was a wedding. Clara stood gracefully at the altar, radiating an angelic, undeniable glow in her flowing white dress. The angry, tight red scar on her left cheek was completely gone. In its place was a faint, delicate silver line that shimmered slightly in the warm light. Arthur had specifically ordered his top surgeons not to erase the mark completely. He told them to treat her healing process like Kintsugi, the ancient Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with liquid gold. He wanted to deeply honor her painful past, not hide it away in quiet shame. Because her selfless sacrifice in that deadly fire was the single most beautiful thing about her beautiful soul. Suddenly, a cheerful, crystal-clear voice echoed happily through the quiet, reverent hall. "Mommy, look at my pretty dress." Little Lily came running down the long aisle, completely free of her past anxiety and childhood trauma. She was holding a woven basket filled with fresh, beautiful wild daisies. She leaped joyfully into Clara's waiting arms, laughing loudly and freely. Arthur stood right beside them, his kind eyes shining with tears of absolute, pure joy. He wrapped his strong arms around both of them tightly. He was finally holding the warm, complete family he thought he had lost forever to the darkness. True beauty is never about possessing a flawless, untouched exterior. It is about how fiercely you rise from your shattered pieces, and how much relentless love you pour into the world, despite your own lingering pain. When a radiant, resilient rose finally blooms after surviving the darkest storm, we must pause to celebrate its ultimate victory. Please leave a warm blessing for this beautiful, blended family by commenting below. I believe God will heal all wounds. and compensate with priceless blessings. And please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. This way, you can receive more meaningful, heartwarming stories with us every single day. Thank you so much for watching, and stay blessed.